Well, here we are, excited. I was just chatting with these ladies back at the WIPA event over at Alderbrook here a couple weeks ago. We have Courtney and Maggie here with Brix on Main. How are you guys doing?
Great. Good. How about you?
It's good. Always, we're getting back on the horn here. We're getting more of these. We just had Rebecca and then back on with the Tri Mastermind. And now we're talking wedding venues here, which I think is great, not only to kind of spotlight the venue, but I think obviously to get kind of a look inside the people behind the venue. So first off, Brix on Main, what's kind of the elevator pitch? What do we have going on?
Do you want to start? You start. Okay. So we are a year-round venue in Buckley. We are right at the start of historic Main Street. So it's a very cute downtown, very quiet, safe area. We're right across from a nice little park. The venue itself is kind of a modern industrial, but also has a little rustic twist to it. We have our brick wall right behind us here. Used to be the exterior of the building. So the brick itself is from 1892, has a ton of character. We have huge arched windows, so lots of natural light. And then polished concrete floor. It's a nice neutral blank slate, very classy, can fit any theme. We include decor and setup, so we make it really easy for our clients to quickly plan events. Even though we just opened essentially in July, we've already had 5 weddings here because we really can help our clients like throw things together really quickly and in a really special, meaningful way.
Yeah, so what's kind of been the reaction? I want to get into you guys as well here, and I'll put up the website URL and all that stuff. What's kind of been the reaction? You said a newer opening. What's it been like, and the couples coming in, and I'm assuming that the town and everyone else. What's kind of been the reaction?
So we have just been completely overwhelmed with absolute support. The space has really been appealing. I think it's a lot of things. The size is kind of right in that sweet spot where it's not too small, but it's not so big that it's intimidating for people that want to have other types of events. So things like baby showers, rehearsal dinners has been a big one for us. And it's a very welcoming space. The downtown has just completely taken us in with open arms because Buckley has a huge push right now to revitalize the downtown. There's a whole Buckley Downtown Association that's working really closely with the Buckley Chamber of Commerce. So we've been just right off the bat super busy. As of today, which I say as of today because we're still getting people contacting us wanting to squeeze in December events. But as of right now, with the only being open half a year, we're at 56 events for 2023, which it's pretty amazing. And it's just been completely just so positive and really fun and just lots of opportunity to collaborate in this space, which is also really exciting to us.
In terms of the location of that being downtown, I have to imagine that works out well too for doing photos and other things kind of around, and that you can utilize the venue. And it looks like the downtown is awesome as well for kind of doing that stuff as we show the gallery here.
Yeah, definitely. We've gotten a lot of feedback that especially for weddings, that the couples that are coming to us love that there's a beautiful indoor space. They don't have to worry about weather because even in the summer, you never know when it's going to be blazing hot, and we have air conditioning, so it's super comfortable for their guests. But then, like you said, they can pop outside. They can go. There's so many great photo ops outdoors as well, whether it's at the park or even just the main street itself. All the buildings have a lot of history to them. There's even across the street from us, the feed store, that if they want that barn look for some photos. There's some old railroad tracks. So yeah, there's just a lot of versatility there. And it's pretty cool to know that if guests arrive early and need something to do, we can send them down to the coffee shop, to the pub next door, to the bistro. So even our friends at the end of the street have an ice cream shop. And if there's kids here that get bored, parents love that. It's like, okay, we can go to the ice cream shop, or we can bring the ice cream here because they now have a mobile cart. So that's another thing that's been really exciting for us. We've been able to also support other businesses on Main Street and help them grow now that they have the need to go outside of their walls to do larger events, like the ice cream shop, or our friends that have the bistro. They have the opportunity now to branch out into some catering. So that part is really great too because it benefits everybody.
Maggie, and I've known Courtney, I think, longer than you, just in terms of kind of our pass into the various wedding groups. How did you get involved in all this, and what's your background?
Well, I'm Courtney's best friend. We've known each other for about 25 years, and we always knew we wanted to have a business together. We just didn't know what that was going to look like. And I'm super creative and have a background in customer service and stuff like that. But my husband is in the military, so even though this is home for us, we were gone for a little over 7 years, and so we were just sort of counting down to me being able to move back and just join her in the industry, because I'm definitely very passionate about like the creative side of everything. So.
And then obviously, Courtney, I know background in terms of the wedding industry and coming together, I guess, being able to work with your best friend here and kind of be able to put this together. What's that been like?
It's been really wonderful. We feel very blessed, very fortunate. Just the timing of everything worked out really well. And we have always been very much like a yin yang kind of friendship. Like, we have similar interests, but our personalities are different, and our strengths, like, we have complementing values and commitment. But then Maggie, like, she's so great at all the creative things. And when we get really busy, I end up gravitating towards logistics, and then she gravitates towards the creative side. So with the two of us, everything gets accomplished, and we also just balance each other out really well. Yep. We can give each other honest feedback without conflict. So it's been really, really great.
It has been. Yeah. There isn't competition between us in our strengths. Like, we're not intimidated by each other being good at things.
Yeah.
We just roll with it.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, and what I like in terms of doing these venue things, and I don't know, to me, it's always kind of people don't think about it, right? And I get that with the videography as well. The people focus, okay, we need a photographer that we're going to get along with, and not realizing that I'm going to be there. And I think it's the same with the venue, where people, okay, like, this is where we want to get married, or this is the aesthetic, or they have availability, and don't necessarily know how much back and forth they're going to have with the venue managers. I mean, talk through that in the relationship that you guys build in terms of the couples, because, you know, it's a long timeline in terms of getting your, selecting your venue all the way through getting married.
Yeah. Well, we really have attracted couples that want that hands-on approach. We do provide a lot of support along the way. So we meet with them at least twice to talk about their vision, their decor. We still encourage them to hire a dedicated day of coordinator for the day of, but we do provide some planning assistance to them along the way, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback. Even other types of events. So, for example, we just had a celebration of life, and the woman who just lost her husband just kept thanking us of she wasn't expecting to receive so much support, and she didn't realize how much she actually needed that. So it really works for us, and it helps us to, and we feel like the more we get to know our clients, the better support we can provide for them, the less that they need to bring in and worry about it. Just, they're less stressed, we're less stressed. And we can make sure that it's unique each time. And we love incorporating personal decor, personal touches, but we also have found that the more that we can take on, it just provides a better experience for our space here, and just for how we do things here. It works great.
We're like genuinely honored to help people with these like really important things, not even just weddings. That's why we're a celebration space, because we really do believe that there's not enough celebrations. We need to celebrate everything. And so we really want people to have a seamless party and whatever it is. And there's so much DIY, and people think that they can handle it, and then it gets down to the wire and they really can't, and we don't want them to have any more stress. And so with our experience, we really do encourage them to allow us to do things for them, to like helping with the setup and assembly of different items, and tear down, obviously, and just like all of the recommendations for vendors and all of that stuff, just so that it doesn't end up flopping for them. So they only have good feelings about it. That's all we want.
Yeah. And we really want them to be able to enjoy the day too.
Yeah.
So, and that's a huge reason why we include what we do. Mm-hmm. So we include a lot, but we also give them a lot of options. So they can choose their own caterer, they can choose their own music, DJ, live music, their own florist, their own photographer. So we don't control those aspects, but we give them recommendations, and 9 times out of 10 they want recommendations.
In terms of the demographic, are you getting a lot of Southern, because Buckley, people think, okay, like, whereas, it's a little bit out, but it's not far, right? It's one of those, it's the same, for me, it's the same difference of going up to Snohomish to kind of cover stuff up there. So are you guys finding a lot of South Sound couples? Are you trying to promote what is kind of your vision, at least short term? And obviously that'll expand here as we move forward.
Yeah. It's been definitely a little bit of both. Very early on, because we started this process in April, did a remodel, opened end of June. So in those first bookings we were getting were definitely people that were like driving by, walking by, hearing about us. But then as time has gone on, we're getting calls from a lot of couples in Seattle. People are willing to travel, and it seems like really the appeal for those couples that are coming from farther away, it's that they want the more industrial look, but they also want it in a safe area where guests can freely walk around. They don't have to worry so much about parking. Yeah, there's all the parking here is free.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of it. There are even lodging options that are within walking distance. So we really are. We've actually been pleasantly surprised with how quickly we're getting a lot of leads from farther out. We even Let's see, probably the farthest was San Juan's.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
In terms of rates here, and I kind of have that pulled up. Do you want to talk through that and kind of how you guys compare and what you're trying to do that way?
Yes.
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah. So we have a few different packages for wedding related events. So we start with an elopement package that's real short and simple, $1,500, ranging up to the 10-hour rental up to 80 guests is $5,500. So in between there, we also have a reception only option, and that's something we've already done where other different religions that maybe only need a spot for a reception, there aren't a lot of options for that. So, or we have a couple coming up in 2024 that they eloped somewhere tropical and they're coming here just for the party. So, and then I would say our micro wedding package, which is a 6-hour rental, that one's been really popular right away because that's for about 30 to 40 people, really manageable for them to have a short planning period. And that 6 hours is super comfortable for the small group if they just want a ceremony, dinner, and a short reception. And then beyond that, we also have hourly rates for other types of celebrations. So those just start at, depending on how many guests and what their plans are, $200 to $300 an hour. And we just build those packages out based on if they need us to help them with, Maggie does balloon art. So she does balloon garlands, balloon arches. A lot of the parties will add on things like that. We also have a digital photo booth they can add on, or if they need us to hire their bartender for them. We give them a lot of options in those hourly packages. And so there's a lot of flexibility with those.
What I like too, and I was looking through here of the shoot you had here and the different aspects of the space. To me, what's cool, and at least in terms of kind of what I do visually, right, is I really like the brick and kind of that look of that, whether the industrial, kind of whatever you want to call it, but having clean getting ready rooms, incredibly, I can't tell you how important that is in terms of having some light in there that way, because that's the thing is you get a lot of brick and then everything's very dark, right? And it's all kind of monochromatic, at least when it comes to video and not being able to kind of manipulate the light as much. What I also kind of what struck me was the actual look of the building itself. And there was this stunning photo here in terms of the front. What is, I guess, maybe, and I think you touched on this at the beginning, but kind of the history of the building, because it's really kind of a remarkable look. I think that's a pretty cool shot.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Okay, so so on this particular lot, there's been several buildings over the last over 100 years, and so the building we're in right now was built in '98 to be an Italian restaurant on this nice, like, sort of triangle kind of lot. The Italian restaurant didn't last very long. It was just 3 years, surprisingly. And so when they sold it in 2001, they sold it to some folks who were going to just open a natural health clinic. So they ended up partitioning. So originally it was an open space because it was a restaurant. But then, they partitioned it into different clinical, rooms. They put a just regular carpet on the floor, drop ceiling. It's really crazy to actually look back and know, so basically, when you look from the outside there, all of those windows were each different rooms. And so that was, well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's really the history of the building. And so we just saw so much potential when it became available for us to work on. And we just saw it. And we kept being told through the process, we might run into something funky. And we just didn't.
Yeah. It really was more of just uncovering every time we would, when the ceiling came out, wow, there's wood beams under there. You can't even see them. They've been hiding, and the brick wall was preserved really nicely because it had been really just covered up by that reception area for a couple of decades. Because when we walked in, there was a lot of not so appealing aspects, but we immediately just fell in love with the brick, the big windows, and the character of it's a really cool building. It's not symmetrical, which actually is really nice as far as layouts for events. We have a lot of options of how to set it up. It doesn't have to be the exact same every time. And it's been fun for us too. There's a lot of people that live around here that have always been in Buckley. So even before that period in the 90s, when this part was built, there were so many different things over the years that this particular corner was. So it's been fun too to hear all the different history of stories of all the shenanigans over the years.
There were a lot of memories, and people, when we were doing our renovation, people were so curious, and so we just had so many people constantly visiting and telling us their stories. And we went to the historical society to ask about anything, about the history of the lot and all of those things too. So we just,
No, I love it. I think it's got a ton of character. We're just kind of going through here. And I do agree with you guys where you're talking about the non-symmetrical kind of floor plan there. And I think it could add easy ways to kind of split up or kind of partition. And we have these activities. I've been on a string of a lot of bat mitzvahs lately. And we have a lot of different stations of things we're doing. And I think that could work around with that. I was also seeing in terms of, it looks like there's a park across the street for outdoor ceremonies. Is that accurate?
Yes, so it's a city park, and for things like photos, it's just available. People can pop over there and do that, but we do have the option to reserve it a couple months out. So if there's a client that really wants to get married outside, we can reserve that park and set up a ceremony. And it has beautiful trees, has a cute little gazebo right across the street, so super convenient.
All of our couples have definitely gone out to take pictures there, and they are really magical because just looking at it, it's a very simple park, but when you're in it, trees are really mature, it's well maintained. The light comes through those trees so beautifully. It feels like a really special space. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that as well, because I like the idea that, it's there if we want to use it, we can do photos there, but I also like that you can do, and if we know we want to do the ceremony there, to be able to kind of reserve that out. Because I've always had that of we're going to do it here. You're like, okay, well, have you done the proper, are we going to be running into, the Boy Scout troop walking through here? But I also like that, to contrast that, because I do think of some of the buildings that are all industrial, you do get that similar look all the time. And I love this year of having a completely different look, literally across the street, that you don't have to go. I know some of the other venues in Tacoma and some of the other historic buildings I'm thinking of, we've had to go elsewhere right across town, or it's had to schedule a separate thing. And so to know that you guys can do it there, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty great. There's also a couple of businesses here downtown that we've talked to about in the future. If we say we had a larger wedding in the summer that they want to do everything inside, but we have some creative ideas for that cocktail hour that people could walk across and do cocktail hour at a different location while we do the flip and come back. So that's pretty cool too. We haven't done it yet, but we have a couple different options for that to get really creative for people that want that experience of guests being able to experience a couple different places.
Because we had before we opened, we were really brainstorming all of the different scenarios for events, and we had actually expected the fact that we were only an indoor venue to be actually a negative for us, but it's not.
Yeah.
It turns out that there's like this kind of space, and I mean, like she said, 56 events in 6 months, and that's probably not all we're going to do. There's been a major need for the size, the style, the location, like all of those types of things. And so we definitely, it's exciting to have those ideas that we've already come up with, and eventually, you know, someone will want them. So it's good that we've already, you know, gone through the process of thinking about that and talking to the other businesses and stuff. But man, people have just been, no, I'm here for this, you know, like.
Yeah, definitely. We've had that experience for weddings, especially. Like, they know already when they walk in the door that they're booking. Like, nope, this is exactly what we want. We want this. So we want your location, want your space. And so it's been really nice. And we've also already had several people that are coming back for additional events. We recently had a baby shower that when she walked in for her tour, just fell in love with it so much that she's like, I'm getting married here. So they ended up doing a surprise wedding at the baby shower. And then they're coming back next month for their company holiday party.
Yeah.
So
they're like, we're just going to do all of our events here. Like, all right.
So we love that too. It's not like a one time you come here once and then you'll never be back. It really is a space that you can make your own and use it in different ways, celebrate different occasions here over time.
Yeah.
I love that idea you're talking about, kind of opening up the main street kind of downtown there is to almost kind of like a walking reception in that way. I know one of our good family friends did that down in Oakland, and they got married around a lake, and there was a couple, you know, they got married at the one, and they had like a map to people. Okay, well, now go down here and you're going to do cocktail hour. And like you said, being able to utilize and do that flip, but have people be able to explore that. You know, I think, especially if you're getting people from out of town or people that don't normally go south and kind of experiencing Buckley in that way, to me, it's nice. A lot of these like industrial venues are a little more isolated, right? And like you had said earlier, I think, Melissa, like there may be in parts of town that you don't want to explore or be, be around. And so it's nice knowing that it's kind of a safe, quiet area that way that you can go explore and do other things. If you're there early, like you said, you know, trying to beat traffic or otherwise exploring and doing other things of the wedding set up that way. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
The businesses have definitely gotten business from us, especially like the pub next door, because they're open till 2 a.m. So, you know, people are not done.
You're after party. Yeah.
We had a 10-year reunion. They really didn't want to leave.
They did not.
We're like, guys, we're sorry. Just go 2 doors down. They're ready for you.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the creativity in terms of having this be your guys' kind of space to explore. And I know you talked about some of the ideas you've had, but just the freedom to be able to work that way and to be able to kind of, you know, you have a vision, you can kind of see it through.
It's been amazing. When we had talked about before, like our dreams of kind of what we wanted, we went through all the different options, and we knew. Well, and that plays into too, also like when we were doing our renovation, like finding the things that we thought might be roadblocks for us with the renovation, and they ended up not being. Like, I mean, for example, we always talked about the fact that we really liked polished concrete floors for the ease of cleaning, the versatility, just the look. And so when we pulled up the carpet and we saw that it was down there, that it was just the foundation of the building, we were so excited. So we were able to go with that. Let's see. Yeah, the beams, like she said, I mean, when we took off because it was a drop ceiling like you'd see in a normal medical clinic, when we took that down and we saw that it just needed just some new HVAC to make it look more streamlined, it was incredible. And so all of these little decisions were really big for us because we didn't have to run them by other people. We could really just talk about like what we wanted, even like down to just us going to the hardware store to look at paint.
Yeah.
We got to actually look at it and make a decision.
Yeah.
And, that felt really good because we've been able to just bounce it off. And of course we take other people's suggestions and opinions as well, because we want it to fit a lot of different people, but we also know that we do have a good vision and we are talented in this department and people do like our style. We've gotten that feedback for sure multiple times. So yeah. And then the other thing that's kind of cool about us, I will say, is that we don't really force things. We really like things to fall into place. And so we were really thoughtful when it came to the things we were going to buy for like decor and for like tables and chairs and like all of those things. Because obviously we didn't want to waste money. probably number one. We didn't want to waste money. We have only this much storage. We had to really think about it. So we put a lot of thought into it to really determine like what we were going for, so that we could have a lot of versatility in everything that we had. So yeah.
Courtney, what's been the biggest learning process here now, having this all be on your guys' shoulders and coming in here? Any good lessons you've learned thus far?
I will say for me, so Maggie and I joked, like we said, best friends. We both turned 40 at the end of last year, and we're like, we're going to make our 40s our best year ever. And we really followed through, and it's been really amazing to know, okay, we really can do this. We have the experience. We know what we're passionate about. We know our strengths, and just having the opportunity to finally use all of those years of experience and knowledge and make it our own it's been really, really, I don't even have a word for it. Freeing, very fulfilling, and just empowering. Yes. And just, I have always been a person who relationships are everything to me. And so having all these relationships that I have built in the wedding industry over the last almost 7 years now, we've just on our own been able to attract the type of people that are all about collaborating, the community over competition. That's really who we are. We really strongly believe in that. So being able to have our business that's our own, that we can really support the things that we want to support and really truly be a part of the community has just been, so fulfilling.
It's been so cool. And we've really met people who have that same philosophy down here on Main Street, like the younger business owners, like the 40-year-old business owners down here, who feel the same way, who really just want like an awesome place for people to live their lives. There's lots of new young families in Buckley, which is really, really cool, because the new construction is definitely coming out this way, but there's also the historical downtown, which lots of people are, it's families or people who've lived here forever too. It's kind of a really nice combination, but just being able to, like she said before, like being able to support the businesses by having people be able to come cater from just 2 doors down or bring their ice cream cart down and like really know their mission is the same as ours. It's just been, it's surreal, actually.
Yeah, surreal is a good word too.
It's kind of surreal because everything really did fall into place. We are really lucky. I mean, not to say there haven't been any challenges, but really it's gone very smoothly and been nothing but a rewarding experience so far.
It's like an experience and trust your instincts.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
The other part we didn't really talk about our families. So we both have 3 kids. And they love coming here because this summer, it was like fully into remodel mode, so many things to do. And then it went straight from that to just nonstop events. But they're really proud of it too. So both of our middle kids are the ones that are like, we're going to run the place someday. Yeah. They like to come help us clean up, and they get excited to hear, our oldest get excited to hear about what the themes are. The little ones are like, are there cupcakes?
I know.
But that's been really cool too, to just have our families be a part of it. Both of our husbands have definitely gotten the honey-do list to support some others. But that's great too, because then they feel like they're a part of it as well. Yeah. And it is close to home for us, so that we're here a lot, but at least we are always just a few minutes away. Our families can pop in and bring us food if they want, or come help out. So that's been really cool too.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah,
it's good. Anything else you want to make sure we touch on? Obviously, we've had the website and stuff up and shown that. Anything else you want to make sure we get out here?
Well, actually, yes. So we have another phase of our business that is just, I would say starting. It's been in the works, but we're officially at the point where we can talk about it. Because this building used to be a restaurant, there's also a commercial kitchen here. So we've been working very hard to get new equipment, get everything approved, which we just got approval as of Monday from the health department that now we have a commissary kitchen here. So again, we're going to be very thoughtful about how we use that, and we're super excited to just see what's to come there. We've already been in talks with some local business owners who are just at that point where they're ready to expand and they need a commissary kitchen in order to move to that next level. So again, so much collaboration then that's going to come from that, and just possibilities that we're going to, try not to control that too much. Just let it evolve and just be real thoughtful about which businesses we're partnering with. But that will be really exciting too, because that opens up a lot of possibilities for like community events and things like that. The ability to have some people that are using the kitchen to sell their products or to cater a community event or things like that over time will be really fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. It's good to hear. Like I said, a lot of if I could speak, collaboration over the years here with all the wedding networking groups and stuff. I'm glad to see you guys kind of get this going. It looks great. Brixonmainbuckley.com, right? And people check it out and give you guys a holler. Courtney, Melissa, I really appreciate it. Anything else today?
No, we're just excited to come visit us. We had a really great vendor night right before we opened that was very well attended and a lot of great feedback. So we're planning some things for next year to have our vendor community come out and enjoy the space too.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to it. This has been another episode of Get to Know Your Wedding Pro. I have here my little banner. You can go to Best Made Videos, bestmadeweddingvideos.com or bestmadevideos.com/podcast guest. If you want to be a member on here, I got all my new fancy graphics on here. You check all that out. I appreciate you guys. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, Reed. Bye.